everyone for being here and for being a part of the Atlanta Design Festival.
Good afternoon to all of our friends in the home design industry. I'm Brenda Saget-Darling, the Associate Publisher of House Beautiful, coming to you from my home office in Bucks County, Pennsylvania. Like many of you who are experiencing fatigue from this ongoing work from home, suddenly every flaw and imperfection of the home I love has become an opportunity for improvement. Who knew that a pandemic could inspire the urge to redecorate, remodel, and renovate? With that in mind, we're thrilled to be here today with the Atlanta Decorative Arts Center and one of its signature events. Clearly, ADAC and House Beautiful have had a long-standing partnership. As we celebrate House Beautiful's 125th anniversary in 2021, the longest continuously published home design brand, we look forward to many more in-person events with you in the coming year. Today, I have the great privilege of introducing House Beautiful's Senior Editorial Market Director, my friend and colleague, Carisha Swanson, who will host today's tour and discussion with noted designer, Mark Williams.
Welcome to our virtual house tour with House Beautiful and Atlanta-based interior designer, Mark Williams. Today, Mark is going to take us through his mid-century modern home that he renovated in Nashville, Tennessee. This home is full of surprises, honoring the spirit of that period while adding modern touches and a ton of relatable personal style. His home is truly a family home that is enriched by the people that have lived in it and made beautiful by the design choices he's put in it. Let's all say hello to my friend, Mark Williams.
Hi, my name is Mark Williams. I'm a designer out of Atlanta, Georgia, and today we're going to be touring my house in Nashville, Tennessee. My husband and I live here as well, and we bought this mid-century modern ranch in a dilapidated condition about 6 years ago, and we've spent the last couple of years renovating it, so we're really excited to take a tour today. We're here with Carisha Swanson from House Beautiful magazine, and we're thrilled to have her in the house with us today. She's here virtually with us. So we're going to do a quick walkthrough and show you what we've got.
Hi, Mark, and hi, everyone from ADAC. Thank you so much for that introduction. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Carisha Swanson, and I am the market director for House Beautiful. Right now, I'm joining you from North Carolina, and of course, virtually taking this house tour with Mark in Nashville. So let's get this started.
Come on inside. So the first space that you come to when you enter the house is the dining room. Originally, this great room space was living, dining, and kitchen, and it was about half the size that you see it today. This wall was not here. Once we expanded the space, we wanted to create a little bit of a division between the living room and the dining room, and we wanted to do that without creating a barrier. So we created this wall, which is perfect, which you can see as you pull into the house. It creates a beautiful backdrop for the dining room, but at the same time, it creates a little bit of a division from the living room.
One of the things I love about that space when you first walk in is you really could have done anything you wanted to, especially when you're talking about knocking down walls or adding walls. You can put them wherever you want to, and the fact that you decided to have the first room of entry be your dining space really says that you love entertaining. So you've got to tell us about your kitchen.
This was a bit of an endeavor for us to put the kitchen here. This was originally the garage of the house. This wall was completely closed in, and it's actually concrete cinder block all the way across this opening, or there was, and we had to cut it open. This entire wall of the house dividing the former garage and workshop from the living spaces has a very, very heavy concrete wall between the living spaces and the workshop garage spaces. So we've repositioned all of that and put the kitchen here. One of the reasons we really wanted to have the kitchen here is because of these fantastic high windows that are in the house. I'm sure you saw on the exterior shots, there's a beautiful stone detail just below these windows. So we didn't want to make them any bigger. It was really important to us to keep the exterior quality of the house intact, but make it livable in a very modern way. So you'll see that there are notes to mid-century modernism throughout the house, but there are also ways that we've taken what was old and made it new again in a way that is more classically modern, a little bit stripped down, a little bit more tailored, like this kitchen. Because the space was long, we thought what a great opportunity to put a huge gathering island in the middle of the space and all of the functional positions around the perimeter. So we have all of our wet activities on this wall, we have all of our cooking activities here in the middle, and then the stainless steel wall in the background is not only pantry, but refrigeration, all concealed together. So we fully integrated all of that into one big composition of one gray.
You can clearly see your respect for architecture and the history of architecture in this space. So tell me what mid-century really means and how that ultimately influenced the overall design approach that you took for redesigning and remodeling and renovating, quite frankly, this home.
Mid-century modern isn't just about an architectural style, and it's not just about a number of years in which houses were built. Mid-century modern is a spirit, it's kind of a code of entertaining spaces that we really wanted to keep intact and keep the spirit together in this house. So as soon as you walk in the front door, you're in a big vaulted space, which includes kitchen, living, dining, and bar, which for us is all about gathering, and that's what we wanted this house to be about. A lot of times people think designers' homes are these precious little boxes that we don't actually interact with. But we raise kids in this house, and all of their friends love to be in this house. Everyone loved to gather here, and that's kind of why we built it. So while things might look beautiful, they're also very, very durable, and I know that's key for a lot of people out there.
You know, one thing that really does surprise me, especially again, because you could do anything you wanted here, is that you kind of buck to the trend of open kitchens. Everybody talks about an open floor plan, an open kitchen. What made you decide to kind of tuck it away in the corner there?
So we decided not to create the idea of a completely open kitchen in this house because of the way we gather. When we're out in this main space, of course we want the food nearby, we want the beverages nearby, but we didn't necessarily want that working functional space because we cook a lot right in the center of our entertaining space. We have a big wide opening leading straight out to where the people are, but we didn't necessarily want the people and all of the busyness of the kitchen happening together. We build houses like that for families that want that. We design kitchens for families that want that. But we didn't necessarily want that here because we know our kitchen is chaos and we wanted the entertaining to be a little bit cleaner and a little bit more tidy.
Kitchen chaos, I think that is something we can all relate to. Even those of us that still want an open kitchen have to understand that that means you got to keep it up and keep it pretty. So I see you moving into the living room. This is really a space where, again, this is kind of your first big opening into the house. Tell me how you decided on the design decisions that you made there.
As we go this way, you're going to notice this big wall to my right. And that's the dividing wall that we created between the large space of the living room and the large space of the dining room. And it's more of an emotional divider. There's big circulation spaces around either side of it, but it does create a sense of division, which allows us a spot for a fireplace. And of course, we are in the USA, so we've got a big TV on the wall to enjoy when we want to.
Mark, I love how that wall really divides the space, but also has such a sense with the fireplace, and yes, us TV loving Americans, but I can't take my eyes off of what's behind you. So tell me how you went about personalizing this space, because I know that's so important.
Sometimes people have a hard time bringing personal items into their public spaces, and they think, oh, the public space should be special and precious, but all of our personal items should be in bedrooms, in the den, in the family room. And we're so connected to our personal lives, our family, our travel. Everything on the wall behind me has a memory for us. It's something that we've picked up along the way when we've been to Australia, when we've been to France, when we've been to England. Everything has a memory attached to it. You can also do this with family photos. Let's say you have a collection of family photos and you want to have them reprinted all in black and white. You can do something like this. And it's not a problem to take personal things and juxtapose them with fine art. We really like to mix and match and make family spaces about family. I really think that sometimes we have a hard time making designed spaces personal and making personal spaces designed. And for us, that's one of the challenges that we think is most important. And certainly in my own home, this is a family house through and through. And so we have personal things all around it. That doesn't mean that it can't look designed, and it doesn't mean it can't look beautiful. But there are memories and stories attached to almost everything that you see in the house.
Mark, you are speaking everyone's language. I'm literally taking notes, making design spaces personal and personal spaces designed. I think that's what we all want. And when you're talking about family spaces, you can sometimes lose a little bit of that design. So how did you still keep it beautiful, high design, and functional for your family? How do you incorporate in that design?
So even in our living room, which is very much a family space for us, we're not afraid to use some beautiful things. My office is inside ADAC, the Atlanta Decorative Arts Center, and we are always happy to shop the showrooms and work with our friends there and try to pick out a few beautiful things that complement our house. And designer things don't have to overwhelm a house. For example, this little table here is from one of our favorite showrooms, Paul Plus. If you want to go, ask for Molly, she'll be happy to help you. Sculpture behind me, also from showroom 58. And these two beautiful chairs, which we're never afraid to use. Again, this showroom 58 and that chair from Paul Plus. So don't be afraid to use designer things, even in your family spaces. Sometimes things get a little nicked up, sometimes things get hurt. That's okay. Everything can be fixed, they're just things. But you should be able to enjoy your space with your family and visually without worrying about it.
So Mark, what are some of the other important ideas about mid-century living and kind of that philosophy that is built into the great design? Especially, I mean, I'm already looking outside, especially when it comes to kind of the indoor outdoor living, because I've seen beautiful windows and I want to definitely deep dive into that.
So one of the other most important things about mid-century ranch houses is that the idea of indoor-outdoor living was very important. Obviously, mid-century ranches came about in the mid-19th century. From about 1949 to the early 1970s is what we would consider the era of the mid-century ranch. So indoor-outdoor living, family parties, birthday parties, backyard barbecues, neighborhood cocktail parties, that was a big part of culture at the time. So we built a large screened porch to help complement that movement between indoor and outdoor. So let's take a minute and we'll go check it out. One of our favorite places to be in the house is the screened porch. The indoor-outdoor living component of mid-century living was really important. And so we wanted to celebrate that by creating a space where we could live outdoors just like we do indoors. We have a huge sectional sofa, this beautiful occasional chair and table from Summer Classics, also from ADAC. One of our favorite outdoor showrooms is called the Colo Collection, and we use them all the time. They have such a wide variety of outdoor furnishings, fixtures, accessories, that you can just get anything you need there. So in addition to the spaces, we wanted to have anything that we can do indoors, outdoors. We can watch TV, just enjoy the fireplace, gather and dine. And right on the other side of the fireplace is our gas grill, which is huge because we love to cook out. So all of the things that we love to do, cooking, gathering, entertaining, and of course eating, can happen right here.
I am actually swooning over that screened porch. It doesn't look like a screened porch. It is beautiful and massive, and the light that's coming in is so gorgeous. So I'm looking at the architecture of this space again, and I'm just looking at all those vaulted ceilings. You put in so much glass. Were there challenges to doing this with working with high ceilings and just so much kind of natural light coming in through all the windows everywhere?
So the vaulted ceiling here in the great room not only creates a really wonderful atmosphere here in this space, but there's not a lot of room between our ceiling and the roof above.
That vaulted ceiling really makes the space feel so much bigger and so much brighter and airier than it probably otherwise would have been had it been a flat ceiling. Was that original to the house, or did you add that on during the renovation process?
So we added on to the house as well as renovating the original house. So this whole area that I'm standing in now is an extension of the original great room, and then we added 2 bedrooms, including a new master suite onto the back. So this hallway takes us to those new spaces. So you probably noticed on the way into the master bedroom that there are a lot of personal art items, personal objects sprinkled around, some whimsical things. You might have seen that there's a giant pink carousel ostrich in the hallway. I know that's not typical, but we think it's funny. So personalizing your home, I think, is something that's very, very important about creating a comfortable home. And even the piece of art behind me, while it looks like a giant piece of fine art, I got this at a student art sale at the Savannah College of Art and Design several years ago, and then framed it at about the size of the piece of art itself to give it a sense of importance. I loved the piece of art. It was very inexpensive, and I wanted it to feel like it had an important place in the home, and I did that with the frame. So in terms of personalizing your space, you shouldn't be afraid to get a little bit into the construction portion of the show. For example, this headboard, Steve and I made it together. We went to Home Depot, had the plywood cut into strips, and bought the fabric, bought the upholstery batting, bought some glue and a staple gun, and we made this ourselves. And it was a lot of fun, and it's a memory that we have.
You know, sometimes when you talk about new additions to a house, it can sometimes not feel as personal. It kind of feels like an add-on. How did you make it feel integrated into the house, and how did you make it feel personal? Again, personalizing your space to really make it work for you and your family.
Also here in the master bedroom, we vaulted the ceilings because a larger sense of height. The standard ceilings in mid-century modern ranch houses are typically around 8 feet in the secondary spaces, as they were in this house. My husband happens to be very tall, so that wasn't going to work for him in the master bedroom. So we did vault this ceiling along the original ceiling angles of the home. So we basically kept the original roof line all the way across the original portion of the house and the new portion of the house. But back here, we were able to accentuate that and create a very lofty space. Also at the same time, opening the back of the house up to, we consider it our own nature park. We've got a pretty big backyard and a huge natural buffer between us and the street behind us. Through the middle of that buffer runs a gorgeous creek where we see everything from deer, raccoons, bobcats, all kinds of crazy, gigantic birds, birds of prey eating things. It's a great, great view out of our master bedroom. Continuing on to the master bath, we kind of took that to another level. So let's go on in here and I'll show you what I'm talking about.
I think it's hilarious that you basically have National Geographic in your backyard. Why not? So, you know, going into your bathroom, this is your primary bathroom for your home. What were things you did, and also an add-on, what were things you did to kind of make it unique and make it work for you and your family?
So we're in the master bath now, and we really wanted a light, bright master bath because getting ready in the morning, let's face it, don't want to get up and out every single morning. So we wanted the space to be cheerful and fun and light and bright. So we created this space, not terribly high ceiling, but we wanted it to feel open and huge. So what we did was we knocked the wall out the back and made it completely glass. As I was saying in the master suite, the backyard is extremely private. Anybody back there is back there for a reason. And we don't really have anybody stray. So that's our shower. You can see here, all glass, and then the back wall of the house, all glass, and that's the way we like it. So while it seems a little indulgent, we thought it was really fun. It's light and it's bright, and it's a great place to get ready in the morning. Adding more whimsy to the space, we found these old high school lockers in a bright turquoise, and we use it for storing towels, face cloths, robes, anything you could possibly need, all stashes away in here.
Okay, your shower is enormous. I mean, you could host a party in there. So, one of the things that you've done so well is really integrate in new and old together in such a seamless way. But so far we've seen one bedroom. Where are the original bedrooms? And how did you work with those?
So on this side of the house, we have the original 3 bedrooms from the ranch that was built in 1969. This was the original master, and we took half of the footprint of the original master when this became one of our kids' rooms and then consequently a guest room after that. We built a shower, bathroom, all of the things that a guest can enjoy and feel at home. So while it's not the biggest bathroom in the world, it has gone through a major transformation. This space used to have carpet in it. The shower was over there. And right here was a screen door to the backyard. Not sure why.
Mark, your home is so beautiful. I cannot wait for everybody to be able to see this space in real life and be able to ask a million questions about it. I appreciate so much that you have taken the time to give us a tour and take us to your Nashville home. Now we're going to go back to Atlanta and get some questions started. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us, and thank you so much for being a part of this. Mark, are you out there?
Hey, Carisha. Great to see you.
It's so good to see you. So again, I love your home and everything you've done with it. And I think the one question that we don't know is how you decided to choose that property. And when you first walked into it, did you know you were going to make the changes that you did in the home?
Oh, we knew. I can't help myself, but I'm always looking for, projects, houses that I love, property that speaks to me. And we had been looking around for a new place in the Nashville area. As the package earlier said, we live both in Atlanta and in Nashville. And we were looking for a home in a particular community because of the school systems at the time, because of the age of our kids. And this particular property came across my radar on Realtor.com, and everyone thought I was insane because it had not been occupied for some time. The previous occupants were very creative people and had done some very homespun sorts of improvements to the original home. And so it was a project. It was clearly a project that we wanted to take on. But you saw the front of the house in the video, and who could not fall in love with the spirit of what that house was saying? So we immediately fell in love and had to dive in.
I have to say, when you're doing a renovation, and certainly when you're adding on, you can take the architecture a few different ways.
And I thought it was really interesting that you decided to start immediately with the dining room. What kind of caused you to do that?
When we started playing with how we might lay out the spaces, it just sort of seemed like, because of the position of the kitchen that evolved through our conversations and our sketches and looking at all the possibilities, that the dining room wanted to be there. It just felt right. And I think because it was a gathering house, what we call a dining room today can be used for so many different things. And a dining room table surface, as we all know, isn't just used for dining. Um, we spread out our bills on the dining room table. When the kids come home, all of their stuff ends up on the dining room table as they walk in the door. So it's a big surface that we can scrape off when the video cameras show up, but we all know that's not what it looks like on a day-to-day basis. And we need those surfaces. We live in our houses, and of course we want things to be neat and tidy all the time, but they're not. And that's so I wanted to have that right up front.
Well, I have to say, the dining table you chose for that space is not exactly one I would throw things all over, but like you said, it is a family house. So if we pull up that picture, that is from showroom 58, I believe.
Yes, it is. And it's a beautiful dining room table. I absolutely love it. It's a Kelly Worstler design. And we love her.
Yeah.
Showroom represents Kelly Worstler here in the Atlanta region, but it has a stone top. It's like I don't know the exact stone. It's but it's like a black basalt, impenetrable stone top. So you really can do just about anything. Even, and that kind of gets back to the conversation of, you know, family spaces can be designed, and design spaces can be family spaces. It doesn't have to be mutually exclusive. And this dining table really did suit our needs in that regard.
I mean, I think that is, I told you I was taking notes when you said that because I think that's what everybody wants. You don't want to give up design because you have a family. You can do both and do both successfully. Are there kind of tricks that you have to doing that in a way that you are able to maintain the integrity of what your eye brings to the table and also make it family friendly?
I honestly, I wouldn't call it tricks. I would call it, a deep dive into simple common sense. We all live in this world. We all have stuff. And one of the things that our firm is really, really kind of one thing we want to stand on the mountaintops and scream is, don't design spaces to look at, design
Mm.
spaces to use. It is so important to us that everything that we design and every family that we work with, every person that we work with, can use the spaces that we design for them, and they're comfortable. And so that comes into every single project that we do, whether it's for you, for a client, for me. It's what can we do once we learn about that client to make this the most beautiful but usable space that we can for that person.
Well, one of the other things that I really took away from this is how you've personalized the space. And we talked about it a couple times, but you have really brought in elements that, for instance, the wall of all your travels next to this beautiful piece of art. And then also, on the other hand, this beautiful framed little moment from a student art fair that you kind of gave this oversized, really moment of importance. What are elements like that, or what do those elements mean to you when you're talking about your family house and being in your own personal space?
Well, it's not about an individual thing for me.
Yeah.
It's not about an individual thing. It's about an idea of carrying those memories along with you. So it has less to do with the thing, and it has more to do with the memory of what comes with that thing. And then how you put that thing into your day-to-day environment is where design comes in. That's where consideration comes in. And so some people have the knack and can do it themselves. I would encourage those who don't to engage a professional designer, because we do have a way of thinking about things that allows us to take what one might consider an everyday object, or something that you might not even consider to be beautiful, but it means something to you. If you bring that to the table, a professional designer will probably be able to say, well, here's how we're going to use it. And you get to enjoy it on your day to day and travel through your home, but it doesn't stand out as something that clashes with the
Right.
beauty. And that's what designers can do.
Well, and the other thing I think designers do, obviously, so successfully is the ability to integrate in pieces